We ready, Trey?
Of course.
La da 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 da. Episode number what? 10 today, huh?
Episode number 10.
Oh, that's a landmark, man. We're almost to 100.
Absolutely.
10%.
It's 10%, man. You know, hey, I figure about 100 will be where we need to be at, man. You know.
No.
10 is monumental, man. You know, last week Bruce 3-Roy was in the building, man. This week I got my redneck hat on, man. You know, we just
that was hilarious.
Yeah, man, I got this hat from Alaska, man, when I went up there, Prudhoe Bay. I was up in the Arctic Circle, man, freezing my balls off. You know, didn't want to jam a screwdriver in my dick, Patrick, but
Did you try to fuck Sarah
still
Palin?
freezing my balls off. No,
Yes. Oh,
but I did. Well, at this time, she was on TV when I was down there, but she was somewhere locally. But yeah, Sarah Palin was a hottie, man. Yeah. Who's nailing Palin, man? With I was a porno, man. You missed it, bro. With Lisa Ann played Sarah Palin, and she
Nice.
looked just like her too. I
look
fuck
her
with
up.
Lisa. Yeah.
I do my research on
I do my Googles.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, but I got this from up there, man. It always sits in the top of the closet, man. See, Alaska response team, man. You know, so it's in the archive, man. I'm trying to outdo Trey with the hats today.
Man, you know you can't. I got way too many hats. I've been bald way too long, man.
Don't the hats help you even get more bald?
No, I've been
Is
bald.
that just an old wise tale?
Nah, man.
I've been
that's-
shaving my
that's
head
just
since I
trying to
was
go full of
15,
shame.
man. I've been shaving my head before I
Yeah,
did, too.
Trey he been had to push back.
There's
He
an
had
old
to run a
wise
long
tale
time
though.
ago.
That say
Push.
we wear caps all the time
He
to
was
make
like
you bald.
17 going on 45 around this motherfucker.
Always, man.
All with the boats, you know.
Absolutely.
He's always been
The New
Mr.
Balance?
Awkward. Oh yeah.
Man, no, I had the dad shoes early.
Oh yeah, you had no choice. That's the
No, I
only
had no
thing.
shoe.
We talked about that before. That was the only size shoe.
No,
Like when you
no.
wore size 15 and up, really when you got to 14, that 13 you used to have, but that 14 and up, like you literally had to go and ask them, okay, bring me out all the X amount. Like bring me all the 15s.
Yeah.
And you got to pick out of that 15. So you couldn't just walk around and just be like, I want to get these Jordan. Now you can do it online. They're going to cost you though.
Yeah, they're going to cost you. And
They're
it's
gonna
always
cost
the
you.
shipping and handling,
Yeah,
which
gonna cost
makes it a little bit crazy.
But you definitely can order shoes online, so
Absolutely.
it's a little bit easier for the big guys nowadays. But back then, you know, it was what it was, and we were coming through still in all the size 40 pants because we had to wear the baggy pants. And
Had to wear the baggy pants.
I felt for any fat person in the 90s, early 2000s, man, because it was just, I know they were pissed, like, dog, I gotta go hunting to get a pair of pants because so even in the baggy era, right, I always wore the big pants, but I never sagged. I always put the belt on, but I like the baggy look, though. You know, that makes any sense. Like, I never got into the sagging thing.
Yeah, well, it's like even the pants I was wearing last show where it was like they were just balloons.
Falling out. Yeah.
It's just because like there's only so baggy before you go on the big and tall range before they're just those before and after pictures. You know what I mean? And it's like you know, I'm in that range right now.
I got rid of mine. I had my little dad pants and my little. I'm kind of sad I did because I could have used them for some skits or something like that. But I had these some pants from like 2001, man. They weren't even like boot cut or nothing. They were just like the dad jeans to the max, man. But they were so comfortable, man. They were just loose fitting, man.
Levi's, these are.
No, they were actually Nauticas, man. So they were actually Nautica pants when Nautica was hot. So that's when
I do remember when Nautica
yeah,
was
man,
on,
Nautica used to be
They still have
hot.
some shit
Well, they
out
selling
there.
shit at Walmart now.
They sell Monica at Walmart?
Yeah, the brand basically went to a affordable brand for everybody, right?
Monica, I know.
Yeah, so they kind of sold the company. Then when they sold the company, they started making just, I'm not gonna say cheap shit, but you know, $30 shirts.
Yeah,
and-
more accessible shit. That's when you started seeing
It's
them
like
in
FUBU.
TJ Maxx.
They have FUBU at Walmart
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Yeah.
FUBU, man, but FUBU was trying to make a comeback. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. They probably have to go.
really
See,
know.
the problem is you got to do tight. I don't see it coming back, man, because like this new trend of pants.
Politics is the right celebrity to say, hey, y'all, let's start wearing football again and it'll pop off.
I don't think you have to match today's culture though.
if you could just slap a FUBU name on whatever today's culture is wearing, and if someone
Yeah, that's
says,
what I'm
"Hey,
saying.
we're gonna go out there and say we're gonna wear FUBU," I mean, look at Kanye. People don't wear Kanye's clothes because they like the clothes. They wear Kanye's clothes so I can say, "Hey, I bought some Kanye."
Yeah, but according to
so it's all up. You set it up 2 weeks ago, the rebrand.
Yes. Okay.
Keep
Yeah.
it going on Kanye.
No,
Well,
we're not going
No, I'm
to.
just saying.
We're talking in general.
It's the exact example. I'm saying
The
example.
rebrand.
It's
But
all
they're-
about the
but
rebrand.
they're saying it now, though.
It can.
Yeah.
Will it? We don't know.
Shit,
But
the Yeezys are what, 260?
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
they were
just
like
ugly.
260, but
Yeah, 260,
like,
yeah,
you know,
ugly.
they were saying that
Yeah, I think-
that trend
I
is
fucking
starting to dip down. Where
I heard that a
Yeah.
little bit of some of the styles are starting to come back, but I'm not seeing it personally. I'm not seeing it, man.
Well, it's
Like,
just
I'm not.
flooding the market. Like you remember how like back when the old days, you would be like, oh, the Yeezys came out, nobody can get them, right?
Yeah.
Now you can get them a lot of places, and that's where once you put it out there too much, nobody really wants.
So
it.
you don't think a lot of that, like, it's like culturally, a lot of that. I think hip hop plays a big part in that, but because of the attention span of people nowadays, like things come back for a minute and then they kind of go away. Because remember the bell bottom for women came back for a little bit, like the '70s look and the butterfly collars, and so it's like splashes of it to where it comes back and then it goes away and it vanishes. So the thing about clothes and brands, man, it's hard to sustain the same that I don't know. It's hard to sustain that same style of clothes because you have to look at the growth of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take a Sean John, right? Started off hood stuff, then it kind of went to the button ups.
Yeah.
And it may still be around, but it may be like suits or some shit now, right?
It probably is.
And because you're branding up, and you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think so. I think that people are not looking to the cultural figures anymore for how to dress. I think now with everybody with their self-expression and everybody has their own. Well, it's like it's different, right? So like back in the day, like if you were going to be a rapper, and we all went through it, right?
Right.
You had to have certain. You had to have
Dress
the kit,
away.
right?
Yeah,
you had
the
to have
rapper
that
kit.
same thing. Like you remember back in the day where it'd be like, oh, you're not wearing Jordans, and you about to get up on these bars?
Yeah.
What? And you'd be like, man, what does that have to do with one or the other?
So funny you should say that because like when I used to go and do shows and stuff like that, I think what set me apart was the fact that I didn't dress like that. I used to go in there with Chuck Taylors, camouflage Chuck Taylors, all camouflage. I had my gimmick, but it wasn't like the Jordan and the jewelry that everybody else did because everybody that came up there, you're right, they had the gold teeth with the Jordans, they had the chain, they had the watch, they had the hat, you know, they had the throwback jersey on, they had the look. But I never, and I used to get in this with my label mates all the time. Like Duke used to say, man, you gotta start dressing like a rapper. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Is a rapper.
Yeah, and it made me so mad one day, even as the years went by, they would always tell me that. And I was like, dude, my music always speaks for me. So when we go and do shows, people were patting me on the back because of the energy that I brought. And they were like, man, I love your energy, man. And I heard people like, man, that's how y'all need huddling up with their homie. Like, this how you need to get up there and be like, and it was just like, dog, I look at the Kendrick, the Cole, the Drakes, like, them niggas don't really have swaggy swag.
All
like,
right,
you know what I'm saying?
no, that's
Swagger.
a trend, bro.
I know what they do the plain Janes,
Because Kendrick, the only reason why he said that he was coming out where he was like, I'm not going to get the jewels and the big chains is because he said it real. When he said it, it made perfect sense. He was scared when that money wasn't going to be coming in anymore.
Okay, that makes sense.
So he was like, man, nah, I'm going to get a 2-story. Like, I'm not going to have a mansion over in California. I'm going to get something with the moms. I'm going to get Rancho Cucamonga, and we're going to just chill out. And that's what everybody's kind of doing. Like Vince Staples, he's doing the same thing out there. Like people started realizing, when you wear all those chains and you go out there flashing, what ends up happening is that you get jacked, bro. You get jacked. You become a target.
They do. You spend $1 million on something that's probably only worth $300,000.
So it's going to be worth $300,000.
So I mean, you could dive into that, right?
Yeah.
But to me, that was never my style. But I always was on the outside of that, and I think you can do your own self-expression, and it actually makes more sense than to be like everybody else. Because even when I was young and hitting the clubs up, like everybody else wanted to wear, the hood wear, urban wear.
Yeah.
I would go in there with the button up, with a button up, or maybe even a nautical sweater, a polo sweater, an all icy white sweater, khakis on with some polo boots on. Because the type of women that I was trying to get wasn't the same type of women that everybody else was trying to get as well. And not even the white chicks, because at the time I used to try to holler at everybody, but it was about a certain sophistication, and I wanted to stand apart so they knew that I'm a hood nigga, but still at the same time I have that level of class too.
I think that's underrated in male fashion. Is like what's the women looking for? Because, like, I don't know about y'all, but, like, that, you remember back in the day when you used to have to do negs and you used to have to be a peacock, and it was, what was the game? It was the book, The Game, or something like that. What was the book where it was how to get every single chick, and it had, like, all these different strategies as you go out into the bar. It's The Game, right? It's The Game.
Neil Strauss.
So, like...
It's just an urban thing, Pat. He's lost.
No, the book isn't. No, the book isn't. Yeah, the book was on VH1. Like, when I saw him, it was on VH1, and it was one of those dating shows after Flavor of Love type of bullshit. Right? Back in that range. And, like, dude had the big old, like how I have the Guinness hat, where it's like he had, like, something that made him stand out, and I was just like, man, I've been doing that shit anyway. Like what's really going on?
That works though, man. Like self identity actually works a lot, because I always, I used to have the Afro puffs. Yeah. And I would go out with the Afro puffs, and oh my God. Yeah,
so you still look at pictures and you still go, huh?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I was trying to grow my hair again so I could do the puffs, but I told you I started balding, and that's when I was like, not gonna do it. Not gonna be the thin shit at the top. Like, I'm gonna just keep the little Caesar cut, and we go ride with it like that.
So you're lucky you're not gray like I am. Like, if I started going Afro puff, I started looking like Cornel West. Up in this piece.
Back when I was being a fucking dick.
Yeah.
That always works.
I one time I caught a girl butt fucking ugly, and she tried to make out with me.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't butt ugly.
Yeah.
Being a fucking dick, girls like that shit.
Believe it or not,
a lot of different strategies.
Has a lot of dick references, man.
He's full of dicks. He's like what's that? Super bad, man. I just can't stop. I see little dicks. He starts drawing down the fingers.
Ever send your dick in a screen?
Don't go to the screen door, dick, Patrick. Man, but welcome to Planet Pert, man. You can get in free what you got.
This dude said the intro now.
Like a Newport Shore, Louisiana Parish Jail.
We must be picking up chicks and slamming dicks.
I thought the intro was
that's the reason why I start recording early, and everybody knows.
No, that wasn't.
No, I thought
we have to do the intro then. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. I thought.
Because I just wanted to talk about nothing for absolutely.
No. I mean, I thought you didn't have to do it anymore live. I thought he.
No, I just like to add it in.
No, yeah.
No, we don't do the.
Yeah, I thought, I was like,
we do the punch.
I could have sworn
we do the punch for the audio. I think,
okay.
We were just talking about that off air. Like,
the last couple of weeks, I didn't start it right away. I kind of just like to warm myself up into it, man. So we don't really have too much going on. It's just all randomness, man. This whole week has been random. That's why I said I just want to come here.
There ain't much going to.
That's why I was
Cohen going to jail, but we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, man. I wasn't even surprised by that. That's not even this guy we want to see go to jail, man. But I'll say that for.
I don't want to see Trump go to jail.
I'll say that for another day.
I don't want to see Trump go to jail because I don't want to see Mike Pence, because
everybody
that dude.
Says that
that dude looks scary. And then anybody who's done any research about that dude, you start
a serial killer.
You start when you do research on him.
He's
all right.
Crazy ass.
Like, I'm not going to be out here like I'm CNN or anything, but like the cursory research that I have done, right, has said that that's the one that everybody should be looking for.
Well, some of his beliefs. See, this is the thing with politicians and beliefs, man. Same reason people didn't vote for Beto is just because their beliefs of his beliefs of gun control or this or that. Like, one man is not gonna stop that show. So one man can't come in there and say, they'll make abortions illegal everywhere. Like, it's
no, but
like see what I'm saying? Like it's just not going to happen on that platform, because states still have rights over federal bullshit any day, bro. Like, look, you gotta look at the weed situation in the states where it's legal.
Yes,
it's still federally.
But
it's still
House
not
of
legal.
Cards and Kevin Spacey has told us anything.
You can't get a bank account in there. They'll blackball markets. But I think that just opens up another avenue to have, to open up start another bank branch. Shit start from nothing
They
all
just
the
want
time.
the FDIC
Fuck them and their approval, man.
I remember in the Obama days.
If somebody come and swipe
Right.
your bank account and they call you and be like, we can't replace it because we don't have FDIC.
Hey man, start
Yeah,
it
but
with
the thing
FDIC,
is-
man. Make it an insurance company.
Yeah, okay.
Where people just put money into it. What do you think you do with your car insurance every month? By the time
Oh,
you're getting gone,
for sure.
you've been to pay more car insurance money to buy a car.
And health
Facts.
insurance.
Yeah.
Facts. And health insurance, watch free with me. I got a Canadian company I work for. Shit's free.
That's
So
fucked up.
I can't even argue with you. Trey know about the benefits and they're well. They will. You get
Canadians
about
like
10
things.
grand in benefits. Like no bullshit.
Your whole
Free.
family gets free insurance?
If I added them, it'd be $60 either a month or a
Yeah.
paycheck. I can't remember. It's very, very cheap.
It's
Very, very cheap.
I pay $200 a month. If I'm
Dude, I'm
myself.
telling you, if I added my whole fucking family, it would be cheap. If I put them on my dental, it's free. If I put them on my eye, it's free. If I put them on my what else we get? If I put them on pretty much anything I want to put them on, it's free.
Yeah, because
Facts.
they don't even think of it like as if it's a built-in cost. It's a built-in cost to doing business in America.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the way that they look at it.
And that's they already write it
And
into
so
it. man.
it's like it's one of those
Great
things
company,
that they put
Free
in
life
there.
insurance,
Damn.
free 401k, 5% of your salary. They dump it in there. You don't have to put shit in there. They dump it in there.
You can
know?
match.
Yeah, you can. I'm gonna get to that point after a certain.
But I hear what
when
you're
get
saying.
there.
I hear what you're saying, Pert. I hear that one person can't do anything. But here's where I get a little bit nervous, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because I read books because women didn't like me in the beginning. So I had to learn history, and what I learned in history is that everything that happened during World War II that we now think is abhorrent, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was perfectly legal. It was done through the system that was put in place at the time.
Okay.
It was supported by everyone who was profiting at the time.
Okay.
In both shores, everybody has a hand when it comes to that almighty dollar because it makes us all evil, right?
Right.
And so with that being said, what we got to look at right now is not left, right, up, down, who likes this, who likes that. Don't even worry about the topics anymore because the topics don't even matter, right? Because everybody's picking the topics that kind of appeal to them. Like
Right.
if you're not out here fucking bitches, then you don't care about abortions. If
Right.
you're out here and you
True.
don't have you don't have to worry about your spouse getting the same amount of rights and life insurance money, then you're not worried about gay rights having shared marital rights. That doesn't apply to most people because
Right.
everybody has their box that they can check. One of the craziest things, and I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but one of the craziest things talking about boxes being checked was recently, right? My kids are going to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we all went to school, and I don't know about Pat, I know you're half Polish and everything like that, but when it came down to pick the box of what are you,
Right.
black, right?
Right.
I pick shit
So
as a total teacher.
when I pick it, right? When I pick it for Trey, I'm thinking, oh, we're going black, right?
Right.
And then my wife, she was over talking about that. She was over checking the boxes, and she had to think about it.
Right.
And she didn't pause it because she's white, so she
Right.
was gonna check the almighty box, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, no, that's what I say. Because nobody asks what is white. They don't ask if you're this, that, or that. If you can check that box, that is the box that nobody cares. If you ask somebody who's
Irish.
African American, right?
Yeah, I got
No,
you.
I'm from the islands, I'm from Trinidad,
Yeah.
I'm from this, I'm from that. All that, we
don't
try to
make it
get
out.
all like that. But if you can check white, man, nobody cares. Nobody cares
Yeah.
if you're Spanish white, if you're
Irish,
Polish white,
German.
Irish,
Yeah.
German. Back
Gotcha.
over in Monessen, where everybody was still separated by their nationalities, because they were second and third generation, that mattered there. But down here in Texas, oh no, I learned there's a box. And if you can check that box, that's the only box you have to check. You don't have to keep on going down.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where now we've gotten so busy at categorizing ourselves by boxes and by bubbles and by scantrons and whatever you want to fill out to denote yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That self-expression of having a weird hat or going out there and just being your own damn self, nobody likes that anymore. Everybody wants to be something. And so, the problem is with the Mike Pence and all that is that Mike Pence stands for something, right? And his stance is evangelical. His stance is homosexuals in any way, shape, or form. Which I don't care how you believe. I don't care about anybody, right? Because in my personal thing, I don't care how you fucking, as long as you fucking.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but when like you start seeing this stuff, you start seeing somebody who's painting a picture where he is not for this. And so then you got to decide, right? Well, what are you for? And then that makes you go into those boxes, and we're back inside the same shit.
Okay.
But nobody's asking what's good for the whole. Because let me just tell you, man, if America changes, if that economy really does drop, man, there's a lot of white collar people. That Purge movie that we all thought was fiction, you're going to see a lot of human debasement, because I was over watching Mr. Robot. Anybody else in this room watch Mr. Robot, right?
About, man?
It was very, very like plausible, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden credit cards are no longer, and so nobody can get over to their bank accounts, nobody can get their really true wealth, right? It's only cash on hand.
Right.
Everybody kind of started getting kind of crazy.
That's what crypto coin was trying to.
Dude, I saw that shit.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
and when it was fluctuating, and how everybody was,
they killed it for the time being, but in the future, I think it'll
Not
evolve.
somebody
I think
invested.
They were
it'll
just
evolve to
seeing-
where it's going to evolve to. That may have been just a little tread of the water a little bit.
no, they were seeing if we were down.
Mm-hmm.
If we were down for having money that we can't hold.
Yeah.
Because that's the final thing, is when they start doing the credits
chip.
and the barcode.
I'll
See,
put
I
the
don't
chip
even
in
think
before.
about the
I'll
chips.
get the
It's
chip.
not even the chips, dude.
don't
Because
care.
I use the iPhone unlock and all that shit. That's the stuff that you're not worried about. The stuff that you should be worried about is tangible assets, because one day they can make the richest person in this whole entire country be poor, and that person won't know how to be poor. They won't even know how to even understand it. And I saw it in Venezuela with my brothers, man. Shout out to John and Isaac Khan.
Yeah.
Who showed me Venezuela. And I saw it with my own two eyes, where like these rich Venezuelan Jewish people suddenly didn't have their money.
Yeah.
And life fucking changed.
Yeah, it does. The government fucked a lot of that and bottomed that out as well.
Real time.
That place is. I don't want to speak too much on it because I have friends with Venezuela, and I don't want to kick my ass because I don't want to go too deep into something I don't understand. But from what they were just telling me, a lot of it is just government corruption at the end of the day. But that's my whole point of
Which is everywhere.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. That's
a
why.
business.
So would you rather have our little government corruption we have, or there? I'll deal with the BS. My whole thing is, and Saturday Night Live just did a skit
Got you.
called "The Trumps," and if Trump was black.
Yeah.
And what he was saying was true. Like, if a black man came in there with that type of attitude and did the type of shit that he did, that man would have been locked up a long time ago. You saw that? He was like, oh, they can't lock me up. I'm the president. He came in there like, I knew that. I was waiting for that to happen. I was, like come to your sense of reality, because if Obama did half of the shit that this man did,
He wouldn't have even been elected.
thank you, man.
So let's go full circle.
He had to have the perfect record to even be considered.
So does he, just because he's white? I don't want to say fuck that. He needs to, if he broke the law, and he deserved to go to jail just like me or you. Like, I don't care. If he lied, he deserves to be impeached. Whether they kick him out of office or not,
I
fine.
don't think anybody will argue that he needs to be arrested, but I just don't think that the country would be impacted as much as if we actually voted him
But
out.
George Bush lied to us straight up to our face too.
Well, so did Clinton.
Weapons of mass destruction. Well, Clinton lied about a dick suck. We're not
But he's
judging
still,
the man.
he's still.
We're not judging the man who lied about a dick suck. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
Like, if I get caught don't tapping ass or messaging on Facebook, like I'm lying too. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't hate the man. I can't hate
But
the
my
man.
point is, they all fucking lie. They're
It's like,
politicians. That's
it's
their
like, how
job.
much proof you got? Oh, okay, there's a video of me, getting head. You know what? I did get head, but I didn't come.
Well,
I did come, but I didn't enjoy it. like, you're never gonna fucking sit up. Come on, dude. I'm not.
Like
No.
politician thing.
No, dude.
I guess like sometimes I think about it as like, are we honest on our resumes?
Yeah.
And so when we looking at
Facts.
when we're reading the resume, it's almost like you're a politician yourself, like you're presenting the best of,
You're selling yourself.
or you're letting them know
With-
that this is what
With
I'm
no
going to bring to
experience,
the
yes.
table.
With
I'm
no
gonna
experience,
bring to the table.
with experience, I don't lie anymore.
So you got
But
like
yeah,
politicians that are actually campaigning, saying that this is what I'm going to fight for, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to whatever,
True.
whatever. Well, does it happen all the time? Well, we just said one man can't change everything.
Yeah,
so
true.
of course we can bring all the ideas and the suggestions that they want, but you still got a whole government to fight against to even make that happen.
So what about with France?
Look at
What
look
about
at
with
look at
France
look
right
at
now?
I don't want
look
to.
at
I don't even want to go deep in
look at
politics.
what look at what
I'm gonna let you get that off.
Obama
I
wanted
don't
to
wanna
do
go into
versus
the
what he was
political
only
bag.
able to do, and how he's getting a lot of slack for not being not accomplishing this and this and that. But, I always say, like, well, how do we know what he tried to do that he couldn't get done based on those that
no, I've already
on purpose of whatever he wanted. Like, if he was actually able to do what he wanted to do, then how would a lot of people,
No, I've stated that, like, I have some beefs with how the administration went, but, like, I worked on it, so therefore I have to accept that we won. So, like, whatever happened at the end of those 8 years, I mean, like,
right.
It was partially my fault too. So, but my whole thing is, and like I keep bringing it up, and it's because flip side, right? Across the sea, France, they just had like a whole bunch of weekends of unrest. They had what they're referring to as the Yellow Vest Revolution, right? And it was basically for the raise of the national minimum wage and other low income boosts, right?
Right.
And the real question was, and it really started because of the tax cut that they gave to the rich, right? And so they were going to raise up the lower incomes.
Okay.
And they were going to lower the higher incomes tax rates just so that they can bring in more jobs.
Okay.
Because that's what they were trying to use as their stimulus, right? And so what the people of France did is that they went out on the streets and just started acting a damn fool, right?
Right.
And so, like, so people, when Trump first got in, they had the pink hat stuff, they had, like, all these different rallies, right? It was, like, for a while, everybody's kind of going, right? And then, like, now it's the Mueller report, and everybody's kind of waiting for him to go to jail. We're halfway through 4 years.
Yeah, I know. And the fads are over with. And this is the part of the new gen, what I was just telling you with the rebranded clothes, whatever. It comes back for a little bit, like that energy's there, and then it just surges away. So I backed away from even speaking about politics on Facebook. I haven't said one thing about politics in a long time besides better. I hate Cruz, I did say that. But that was from a perspective of, which we discussed already, respect and whatever. Like, I don't even go back and forth with people about politics anymore. I still see Obama slamming from my Republican friends. I still see the Trump bigging up. I still see the Hillary slamming. I don't even comment anymore. I don't like it. I don't frown on it. I don't put it angry. I don't do anything. I just scroll past it because that's the biggest power to me, is actually to annoy you, and I'll let you get your same 5 likes off that you always get off. So get your little 5 likes off from your little 5 other low key, I'm not gonna say racist, but damn near prejudiced, borderline racist ass people too, that's scared to be racist because the consequence of being racist is brutal nowadays.
And not because it's wrong.
No, because the consequence.
Right, I'm saying.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Not because it's wrong.
No,
but because
of the consequences. And that's the ultimate fact behind that, dude. Like, the crazy part of, I understand trolling. Like when y'all had the HDT page, and anytime they would post something, and it was a black person doing something, it'd just be a meme. Or a video. It wasn't meant to be racist. It's just like, look at this dumbass. Because you'll post it on the other side as well. And as soon as it hits, I would say 50% of those comments were racist. Fact or not. Like, it was people, but it's like, are they trolling racist? Or
are they racist?
Yeah.
Racist.
Yeah. Okay, right.
Well, that brings up
right? And my bullshit. Yeah, it wasn't people he knew, but it was just a fan page or just a page where people, it's something he managed, and people, they would come spam, and I would just jump up in there and speak my tune. And I would remember just hitting these buttons angry, like, are you fucking kidding me?
But that person, there's a chance that person didn't even mean what they were saying. They're just talking shit.
Yeah, just to get a rise out of me, because that's why I stopped allowing people on the internet to get a rise out of me. It just doesn't exist to me.
That brings up something else that we were talking about, where it was like Kendrick invited a white girl on stage, right? He has a part in his stage.
But see, I honestly, if you put the word nigga in your song and you invite a white chick up and it has nigga, I ain't even mad at her for saying nigga, because I would have said it too. I would have said it if I was white as day, because it's just like, this is the problem that I have with that word. And this is like, a lot of people say, oh, it's our word, we own it. You're right about that. Because it can't come off wrong when some people say it. But it's like, dog, y'all putting this into y'all music. It's a word that we use every day. That's if they tell us we can't use a word, what are we gonna do? We're gonna use it anyway. Just because the slavery, because it is, we own that. I know white people that say nigga. Never got a punch from me.
Like that.
I know white women that say, I personally dated one that used to say that in front of black people.
Like you willing to give a discount to white folks that can't say the N word if they buy your album? You got that, right? You know what I mean? So it's like that don't make no sense.
What the problem is because it was. I mean, you can feel whatever you want to feel about it. This is just the way I feel. I hear Spanish people saying nigga. So me being culturally sound around a whole bunch of different people, I see. So when they call each other nigga, am I to jump in between and say, hey, don't you say no? Because hey, nigga, what's they doing? I hate to tell you niggas this shit, and I'm gonna use the word. Like that word doesn't mean what it used to mean. And it doesn't even hold value to just us anymore. Because all minorities use that word. I see white people walking through the mall. Hey, boy, what's up, man? You tripping, nigga? And it's a group of white people. I hate to tell you, that just means fool, you tripping, guy, you tripping, man, you tripping, brother, you tripping. Whatever you want to use as a replace, it's one of those asterisk words. Because nigga doesn't even really mean nigga all the time. You could be like, nigga. That means, bruh.
I'm glad this got brought up.
You know?
Because right before you came, we actually had this same conversation. And as being white, I don't like the word.
That's fine.
I mean, the reason why it does have a negative background.
It does.
Okay. But me, I can't sit there and say, you don't say that word because,
right.
But I don't want to say it. I don't want that word in my vocabulary. I don't want my nephew.
Yeah, that's fine.
My brother, you know what I'm saying?
Pat,
even my white friends.
You also got gray right here, which means that you came from an era where that word meant something.
That is
If
true.
you were born in the 90s.
I was born in the 80s.
No, I'm saying if you were a
okay.
guy, if you were the 2000s cat, or you were the 90s cat.
Well, shit, it's 2018 or 2000, baby.
Yeah.
You might not. I'm saying you might have a different perspective.
I'm saying right now,
this generation.
That was a young girl.
If my 6-year-old nephew dropped the N-word around me, I'm knock the fuck out of him.
Cool.
And
all respect to you, like real talk. I mean,
yeah.
I don't feel.
And my brother would do the same thing. But see, because I'm not gonna lie, I had grandparents that said the word.
Oh yeah.
And when I was a kid, you go over to a white family in the South, you're gonna hear that word.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As I got older, I learned to hate the word because I grew up with.
Paula Dean said, "Nigga."
Yeah, I grew up with black friends, and
I
you know.
Try one of the biscuits.
But anyways, like this, is what we're talking about before you came is like.
I want to have the chicken.
Like. Having Hispanic and Asian friends, they walk around and say that word like it's fucking dog and cat.
No facts.
But like I said, I don't want to say the word. But a white person says the word, they do get frowned upon even against with Hispanics and Asians.
I just don't.
I know you don't, but like a lot of people do.
Because
like,
we can't say we put an A on the end to take the power
away,
but then give the power back when they say nigga.
I was never for that. You know,
I know, but I'm just saying how you gonna take the power away, but then give the power back when they say
it. Yeah, like I don't like anybody saying it, but
so are we contradicting ourselves?
But that's a lot of stuff, though. No, and I'm saying this to agree with you.
No.
I think there's a lot of stuff that we're contradicting ourselves on.
Okay.
Like with the like not even just the N-word, but like the whole like slavery controversy or whatever too.
Right.
It's like, okay, are we gonna be strongest, fastest kings and queens, or are we gonna be victims of slaves and we're still suffering?
Right.
It's like, what are we gonna do? I don't think anybody who was successful based on being oppressed or based on the effects of slavery. It's like when they're thinking about getting where they're getting to, they're not thinking about, oh, I was a slave. God dang, it was oppressive. Nah, they're like, all right, now I gotta get to the top. I gotta earn my way. And when I work hard and bust myself, and bust my ass to get where I'm trying to get, I ain't thinking about.
I wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, right.
Thank you. So what I'm saying is like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna be successful and work hard and do what we're gonna do, or are we gonna be oppressed and we need people to give us money out of reparations?
One person call you coons. They'll call us coons because we. I'm just telling you.
I'm not gonna turn down the reparations check.
No, depending on the amount.
I'm not gonna
I'll say 40 ounces. I'm fucking pit bull. They don't know what I'm fucking hit at. Give it to me, man.
But at the same time, it's like I think about that when I look at my kids who are this generation.
Yeah.
It's like, do I really want to bring them all the way back to tell them that the world is going to oppress you, or am I going to look at their accomplishments that they already are making and say, keep going?
Yes.
I'm not even finna stop you and make you think about the people that are going to oppress you, because you should already understand at this point that it's just going to be people that don't like you. Just because they don't like you because of their skin doesn't mean anything. They're going to not like you because of the shoes. They're not going to like you because of the fact that you're good in basketball. They're not going to like you because you're pretty or you're cute or whatever. It's, you know, the people are going to, the D word, to discriminate against you for whatever they choose to do it for.
Yeah.
We were just talking about.
I don't fuck with a lot of black people, but that doesn't mean I hate black people. I mean, obviously the room.
No, it's a awareness thing.
Yes,
it's an awareness thing.
Yes,
I like Mark Cuban. He's like, I'm not gonna lie. Like in my day and age, if I see a hoodie, I'm probably gonna step on the side of the street.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I'm a millionaire. That's just my
It
new
was
awareness.
Versus
if I was actually a street cat, I wouldn't be alarmed if another street cat came.
No.
But if I'm not a street cat and I'm in an area where I'm not supposed to see street cats, and I see a hoodie guy walking through this area,
it's a little strange, buddy.
I'm in Barnes and Noble.
I'm gonna tell you about reverse racism. Last time I was at Mardi Gras, we were sitting there. A white dude come. This was right after either one of those bombings or shootings that the white people did. I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of those incidents of one of those shootings. Cause this white dude just comes with his chair and he just sits there and he has this duffel bag, and it did kind of look like rifles in the bag. So cuz like, man, you see that dude, man? He ain't got it for none of the floats. Like he put me on something, and I'm just like, cuz you tripping, man. But then I look and I'm like, you know, I kind of fell back a little bit and kind of went around and was watching what he was doing, but he was just sitting down because his wife or kid, grandkids, they were in the front, and he just had a big bag of shit. But you know, even me being a little prejudiced there, because I'm like, you know, this is a big event. There's
racist?
Well, it's definitely.
No, man, white.
Tell me how, because I'm saying, like,
is it just awareness?
Yes. It's not like no white guys ever had a duffel bag and pulled out around.
Black people sitting there.
No, what I'm saying, that's not my point. What I'm saying is that belief of there's a bag with guns in it didn't just come because he's a white guy. It's because some white guys actually had a gun in bags and actually shot people. It's the same way if there was a Muslim with a bag and they threw it in a restaurant and ran out like a prank guy.
Yeah. I'm dipping.
You know what I mean? It's just simply like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you got to give him a chance. He might be throwing a bag of donuts. It's not a bump. Come on, bro.
A bag of donuts.
It might be.
Stereotypes come from reason.
But listen.
Stereotypes do come from racism. But I mean, but it's sometimes it's situations that may happen to you, right? That people become racist. You know, like if a white woman has her purse snatched by a black guy, she may be a little hesitant around black people, and it has nothing. That's her PTSD. You feel me? Like that's not her being racist, and she wants to treat everybody the same. I can't be mad at her. But I can't do that, right? I caught two Mexican dudes trying to break into my house, but every time I see young little Mexican dudes walking around my house, that does kind of go back to my registry of being like, oh, you know what? It wasn't black people trying to break in my house. It was Hispanic people trying to break in my house. But I don't think all Hispanic people steal. You feel me? If that makes any sense. My awareness is like, okay, I've seen these guys a little bit too many times walking through here. I know they live on this side. You know, I kind of keep an extra eye on them.
Because I think that you said that, because PTSD is something that I think not just a part of our nation. I think everybody has like a similar form of something that has scarred. But I was over explaining, because you know, one of the craziest things as we get older, right, is that like now a lot of my black friends, a lot of my friends, we all talk about mental health and like how we just might not be good. Like to say that you used to be like, damn, man, bro, get the fuck up, man, buck up.
Yeah.
And it's like
that was
now,
therapy.
But now it's like, man, we all realize, man, we kind of saw way too much at the time. We probably should have paid a copay or two to somebody at this point, but it's like we don't really do that. And there's so many layers, like, you know, like Like my mom was walking over to the bus station. She got robbed. You know what I mean? She didn't go through any counseling or anything like that. That was just an everyday motherfucking thing. Just keep on going, right? And so you still gotta go catch that bus because we didn't have a car at that time, right?
Right.
But nobody ever says, "Hey, man, do you need anything? Are you cool? Are you coming back all right? Are you suffering any effects?" But it's like everybody's like that. So I can't even blame like the old races, right? I can't blame them, right? Because they probably saw some shit that probably scared the hell out of them.
Right.
I can't. And on the other side, on the black, like on the black side, but it's like even at this age right now, it's like, what do we tell our kids, right? What do we really do? Well, it's like,
I'm listening to you though.
What do we tell our kids right now, right? Do we tell them the lessons that we've learned, right? That we've learned from our own struggles and shit.
Okay.
Like back in the day, I used to be like, man, I don't trust white people, yada yada. And like I'm married to a white person. She was like, man, you got to really think about what you're saying out there because like you're saying something that is not really true, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like. But it's like what I was really trying to say is I'm scared of what they can do without repercussion to me. And that's what I was really trying to say. But it was like me being the tough man.
Right.
You don't ever show weakness. You don't ever show fear. You don't ever show that there might be some kind of threat to you. And it's like how many different layers of that is happening, because just within this room alone, we probably got a couple of stories that we can probably say, man, that fucking changed us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can't, but we didn't like go over and get like a group and like say, hey man, let's all talk and get ourselves over to fucking wellness.
Nah, but Trey, let's be real though. How many of us should have?
Probably a lot of
right, because because I mean, you're saying that. And which I get your point to where like just some of us aren't affected, but are we not affected because we don't see how we're affected, or are we not affected because of where it comes out? Well, it's just not that big of a deal. So like if the PTSD, some people, everyone might have it, but how do you handle it? So like if you show, I say it all the time, you can't. I think we talked about how they made so much money off of Donald Trump, right? Well, look how much money they make off of black crimes.
Yes.
Right? Or look how much money they make off of any story that is involved with a police killing a black person for any reason at this point. Right. As long as it's white and he kills a black person, it's going to be on the story. Yeah. If you're making money, I get it. But you also got millions of black people watching this every day. So now that one police killing is registering to a lot of black people as 100 police killings.
So we're all scared.
And 1,000 police killings because we saw it so many times over and over on TV all the time. So every time we see it, it's almost like another killing, even if it might be the same one that's just viral. Yeah. So now it's like, okay, damn, do we got PTSD? And should I be held accountable if I go out there and just go crazy and shoot a whole bunch of white guys because I think I'm going to get shot too? Yes. Or the Dallas cop killer who went out there and shot a whole bunch of cops? I mean, do we...
And the bad version after that, right? Yeah.
Right, except that. You know.
And those guys had some form of PTSD, although they were military guys, so I would say that they actually had experience of PTSD. Where I was gonna go with the PTSD thing is, do you have to experience it firsthand to have PTSD? And what I mean by that, as kids in the 80s babies, we had to my mom and shit that was on TV. We had to watch Martin Luther King be assassinated. We had to watch Malcolm X be assassinated. We had to watch the dogs and the hoses, and we had to watch Roots. Roots was torture for me to watch.
They made us watch it every year.
And so to
it
me,
became one regular TV.
So to me, I understand learning this history and not forgetting and not like that shit bothered me, bro.
Like
that made me feel
it's a level of maturity. And I mean, as far as to answer the question,
as a kid, do you think?
That's why I said the level of maturity is the factor.
They don't teach.
You say how much do we expose?
Like my grandparents were going through this. My that's how I felt, and I felt their pain.
problem is you were a child and that's the only thing you knew how to do. You wasn't able to separate, okay, yeah, you're telling me about this, but I can also have a new lens of what's reality. Right? Like Trey was talking about, like, yeah, I grew up with, like, you know, white people, but then I married a white woman.
Right.
So it kind of, so it's like, that's why I said the answer to that question is you have to see who's mature enough to handle that information. If a kid is small, I don't think I'm going to push all of that onto that kid because they're emotional. They're pure emotions right now as they're growing in their kids.
Well, it's what
so do you put all that on the kids or do you?
Well, it's what to do with it,
I'm
right?
talking Reading Rainbow guy.
No, I got you. Like the Reading Rainbow guy who was like on there getting whipped, and then they cut off his foot, bro. They cut off his foot, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, "We're all
your whole childhood.
Yes.
Ruin your whole childhood.
I got this guy on PBS.
It's not Toby who got his foot cut down. It's PBS.
Have you seen Roots?
A long time ago.
Man, it made you feel the way. How does that make you guys feel? Not
you guys.
you guys. What I want to I want to say a non-racist.
I know what you're talking about.
A non-racist.
Yeah.
Okay,
how do you feel watching that movie?
I don't remember much of Ruth, but I remember like Mississippi Burning and all that shit.
How did that go?
Right. Just movies with that topic.
That's
movies
trying
with
to
kill
that
and
topic.
it pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, even when I was a kid, because even though like I did have a
percentage, yes.
like I had black friends.
Yeah.
And I grew up in an era where we have white and black people were friends. But so when I watched like Mississippi Burning and how shit was, that was like based in the 50s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, whenever racism was
segregation.
During that time.
It pissed me off that how like just imagine like my friends getting treated like that by some fucking
right.
And
it's hard.
And it took having a friend who was black. Like you could have easily been growing up in a all-white Boston neighborhood, and that.
Well, and that's true. Like if I grew up like back then, like say out here in Katy where there was all white back then, it probably wouldn't affect me much. I might have been saying like, okay, why they treating that person like that, but I wouldn't have understood it. Like,
but it was the same thing in the school that we went to.
What is it?
Because like me being the only guy.
What is it? The different forms of what they do with commercials and movies. They play on emotional side. They play on this side. It's like ethos, pathos. I remember writing papers in college on that and kind of touching on that. And I know a lot of those movies. It's kind of tapping into the emotional side, which I think is ethos, but it's tapping into the emotional side of things. And it just, like I told you, Fruitvale Station, Detroit was one. I didn't think Detroit was going to be like that. When I watched Detroit, and then to watch the end, and my wife is like, I can't. But I already knew the end of the movie where I'm like, oh, not guilty. Not guilty. There's no way, not guilty, because of the timing and what it was. And I knew what the movie was meant to do. But what I didn't care about the not guilty, I cared about the not guilty then and then the not guilty now. That's what burned me up. So my train of thought was not in this 60s, 70s, 50s when this shit happened.
It's still happening.
That's what pisses me. That's what made me mad, was just like the not guilty now and even then. So look at this 40, 50 year span, and longer than that, but at least then we can actually have a trial for white people. Because back in the day, they kill a nigga, it was just a dead nigga. Like, there wasn't no trial yet. That's what made me mad. So my mind span is way deeper than just looking at the now of that movie. Then I look at the then. You know what I mean? Looking at then and then the now.
No, like I hear what you're saying, because like it's very interesting, because like my mom, you remember back in Kroger's, they used to have like those $2 like books, and then you get the encyclopedias and then
yeah.
Well, there was one for the Black History ones, like it was Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so my mom made me like read them all, right? So like I was. Like, it's very, very interesting, because my mom doesn't like history like that, but she always made me like appreciate the story, right? And so, like, learn about Detroit, learn about the civil rights struggle and everything like that. It's very, very interesting. Well, it's very, very interesting now, because like now there are there are more stories that are coming out. There are more things documented. Just the fact that there is a Fruitvale Station that could exist. Just the fact that you did watch Detroit and then you saw it and then saw the parallels. Like, that message usually wouldn't be able to get out.
Right.
What I think about, just going back to what you were saying about roots and all that, is just the fact that now that month, you remember how like they would always round us up on February, and then we all had to do like the play and shit like that? No, they did. No, they did.
I'm understanding that why you use that term. Yeah,
and then they would go, "Hey guys," because all the black people were on one row of the wall on the second story of Stratford. And that's where they all were at. And so they would all go, "Hey, let's get everybody together for the Black History play." And that's when, like, you would talk about here in February, you would hear about slavery in American history. You would hear about this. You would hear about all the different things, but they would span within those, you know, those 2 or 3 weeks, right? And so, like, looking at all that mess and like seeing all that, and then now realizing, because you know I have a wife who's an educator, that they're changing school books like by, you know, faster than they ever can, because now you need to get the most money from print in editions, right? They're changing different things, like slavery is now grouped in with indentured servitude. Let me just tell you the difference between those two things for all those people who don't know, right? Indentured servitude was when Europeans, such as the Irish, Germans, other different nations of all of Europe and parts of Asia, they would basically take a loan to get over to the New World, and once you got that loan, you went on over and you worked, right? You worked off your debt. Right. The difference between that and slavery is that prisoners of war and other coastal tribes onto Western Africa were all pillaged, right? At first it was the Dutch who basically came over and they were like, well, this tribe's against me, and so fuck them. Let's start getting them. And then once they stopped making those deals, for the ones that they didn't want in the African nations, that's when they just started coming and getting people. And that's where the roots thing happened. And just the fact that now this is now either going to be a movie that will never get seen, right? Or like the story of slavery and the slave trade and all the atrocities and how hard it came, like that's all going to be fading away. And this is my only problem with that, right? Is that to get right now, everybody's like all into the X-23, you know, trying to figure out who the fuck they are, right? And black people, same thing, you know, we're all trying to figure out who the fuck we are, right? True. This is the only thing that you need to know. If you're black in America, if you're European in America, if you're any type of nationality in America, you have had to survive generations of disease, generations of war, generations of germ warfare that we weren't even talking about. We're not going to talk about the blankets of smallpox that were thrown on people, right? But just to get to this point, you have had to survive so much, right? That they say that there are genetic markers, right? To just go back to what you were saying, there are genetic markers that are passed down from father to son, mother to daughter, the whole thing, right? Because it's in DNA. Once you learn something, it's stamped on you like a memory, right? And they're saying that that's what's going on. And so when I talk about PTSD, when I talk about all the lessons that are being learned, the reason why PTSD is just going to fade away and we're all just going to be crazy is because we're not going to remember why we were crazy.
Understand that. That's dope.
While we're on this topic,
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what white racists gotta watch out for. Not the fucking Trump Confederate flag flying racist motherfuckers. Not them.
Which ones?
I'll be 1%. This is coming from a white guy that's hung out with hipsters, that's hung out with fucking rednecks. I'm in the construction. I know rednecks. I'll be 1% honest with you. Are those suburban raised, moved to Montrose, skinny pant wearing, race card pulling white kids that cry over everything? Do you know why? Do you know why they pull the race card over? Because they have that fucking white fucking guilt. Those bicycle riding hipsters with those are the ones that are closet racists that probably grew up in a very racist suburban home, and they moved to Montrose to be the cool kid. And now they're super liberal. And they feel sorry for every black, Hispanic, whatever. So the white man's the devil to them because they know how they feel. Me, I'm not a racist white guy, and I grew up around all races.
Around all of us.
So I don't pull the race card and stuff like that because I see it from all directions. They didn't grow up around all directions. They grew up in whitewashed, probably a suit and tie, dad going to work, coming home. So a black guy cut me off in his Cadillac, you know, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so they come and move to the city.
Fucking
and
hubcaps.
So I'm saying, like, everybody sits there and says, okay, that Confederate flag Chevy driving truck. Okay,
I'm not worried about them.
It's those closet racists that wear the skinny jeans and the damn.
I got you.
If you know what I'm saying.
I understand that 100%.
The ones that sit there and call me a racist.
Yes.
Because I might make a joke or something like that.
Yeah,
but they're the ones that have the guilt, and there's a reason why they have the fucking guilt.
And I'm tired of it. And any motherfuckers that's out there listening and it just comes across your earwave or earwave through your ear canal, I should say. What you say? Earwave. Canal. Nah, man, but seriously, stop using us as a trend too, man. Because I understand what he's saying, man. And it's like, you know, when it's like, what happened to all these Black Lives Matter sign holding motherfuckers, man? Like, why is that here? Well, I know they vest. I understand exactly. Like, we're not a fad, man. Everything that we're fighting for is not a fad. Anything that we are fighting for is a fad. Like, and long story short, it's like, you know how quick our fads go away, man. Like, to the point where LGBT, whatever the hell, Q and X and Y and everything else.
Now it's like 2011.
I know that they added into that. The gay community, essentially, man. Like, when they say cry me a river, like, the whole world cries him a fucking river, man. You know, look at Kevin Hart. They want him to apologize for something. He's like, I already apologized for that. Fuck you and your show. I see what Kevin did, and I appreciate him for saying, you know what.
His rebrands are crazy.
I know, but it doesn't. I understand him putting his foot down. You're right, because he's a branded master anyway, and people are always going to love Kevin Hart no matter fucking what, because his fan base is just a dope ass, loyal ass fan base, bro. You know, and when it comes to comedy, what he said didn't even make any sense, because I've said the same shit to my kid before. I said him playing with a fucking baby doll. I'd be like, man, put this shit down, it's gay. Didn't say you're gay or I hate gays. Like, we don't play with baby dolls. It's essentially all that he was saying. If I caught my son playing with a baby doll, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see anything wrong with that, because why do I want I don't care if my son is gay, but I don't want him to be gay. Why can't I have that right? Because without straight people in the world, there's no gay people in the world, bro. That's big fact. We make gay people.
Well, you gotta have
no. It's how many gay, like, you can adopt if you're a gay man, but then you have to. Who made that baby?
Yeah.
Now, if you're a woman, you can go to sperm bank and you can shoot. Y'all can both take sponges and syringes and.
But who's the sperm that come from?
Thank you. So it's like we don't. There's no. I didn't understand. I don't be understanding that shit. But like, if we say something from a black side, it always fades away. Like, and it's like, oh, quit crying, quit your bitching, this or that. And stop making our shit a fad though. Because if you're not down for the cause, sit your ass back.
And that was my point. It's like they're trying to be what word did I say earlier? Bleeding heart.
Yeah.
They're trying to be a bleeding heart, and all it does, and this is my opinion. They're being racist doing that because they're trying to.
We call it forcing.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. how do I say this without sounding stupid? It's like they're trying to sound like they care.
Yeah.
But they're kind of putting down.
Condescending?
Yeah, they're condescending. They're kind of putting down black people, saying like they need us to protect them. No, they don't.
No.
Yeah, and
we do need white. We don't need not for protection, but we do need white people to be as woke as us.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
sure.
You look at the marches in the '60s, it was white people when they were throwing bricks and marching across those bridges. There were white people there too. Well, you know, and
I think that we're wasting our time.
No, I'm done. I'm actually done with that. Like, we're about to move on to.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I think both.
Because
at the end of the day, man, like, you know, we all need each other, and I always tell people that. People are like, oh, if it's an all black city, I always say I wouldn't move there.
Yeah.
And I was like, it'll never be an all black city. And they're thinking I'm hating on them, saying that it would be an all black. No, because we're too inviting as people. Not talking about the super.
Everybody likes to have a party.
I know, but we're inviting.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, let's go hang. Like, we're naturally inviting. This whole gangster bullshit, this role that everybody thinks that we have to be, which is a perfect transition to go into the shit with the fucking 20 guys that got arrested. It's like this gangster role that we feel like we have to be. I think that's where we fail as minorities and especially as black men, because we think that we have to be the hardest and we have to be the toughest when we're really inviting as people, bro.
We not.
Yeah.
We don't have to be the hardest or the toughest based on what we've been through.
No. No, because these microwave babies, hell no.
Hell no. You're talking about two different things.
No. What? Okay.
I said, do we not have to? Do black men not have to? You're saying
no,
babies.
We don't have to be artists. No, we don't have to be the hardest and the toughest, dude. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of why we're fucked up right now. If y'all want to talk PTSD, is because we thought we had to be the hardest and the toughest.
You gotta take it.
So we had to get punched in the fucking chest. If you cry when you got punched in the chest, you got punched in the fucking stomach. You got punched in the chest. That's how I grew up. I don't know about y'all with y'all uncles.
How's that not what I just said? You have to be tough.
You have to be tough. But he's saying that we've learned now
that didn't work.
That didn't work. And so
because it was shoot 'em up, bang bang, bro. We grew up thinking that that's what we had to do. We had to be gangsters. We had to be. So we don't have to be that.
No, we
Stop
have to
trying to be the hardest nigga alive and try to be the smartest nigga alive. That's all I'm telling you. Embrace being a fucking smart dude. We talked about this off air. Me and Trey, I was like, Trey, you know, I actually made straight A's all the way up into high school, but I never told nobody because I still hung around everybody. But you know, award time came at the end of the school year, and they're like, you know, all A honor roll, AB honor roll, every fucking year, and I had to go up there, and they be like, "Oh, that nigga was smart."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The funny part.
I couldn't even embrace being smart because it wasn't cool for me to be smart, bro. Like that's all I'm telling you. And
and that's the funny part is that he was the smart guy too in the same group, but because I wanted to be the smart guy,
because he embraced being smart,
and so everybody would be like, "Man, this fucking smart,
yeah.
And I'm just like. That dude built a fucking computer, man.
No.
But then Pert would be like, no, man, Trace
so
was
we
smart.
don't. My thing is, yes, as an African American, we do have to be tougher maybe than most, but we don't need to be these cowboys and these gangsters and these catching felonies and these felons out here. So that's why it transitions into the whole video thing of these cats on this video. So let's get you up to speed, man. If y'all didn't see it, 20 people was arrested. I ain't gonna throw the artist's name out there, man, because I just don't want to slam him like that. And I actually know people who know, and that's whatever. And he was smart enough to not be one of the people with the straps though.
Fair enough.
So they do this video shoot. It's 20 people. They're at a park. 3 blocks away from a school, or half a block from a school, like right by a school.
Done. Yeah.
3 o'clock during the daytime, dude. Guns galore out, just AKs and fucking.
And why did that really happen? Like
was
back,
on the weekend?
Was
no,
that everybody
school had
coming
that out after that, and some of the students came to the.
They were in the video. Some of the students when they got in the video.
Dog, this is what I'm telling you about being like. We don't have to portray this image. You know, even I'm gonna get into. I know. So cops got called eventually. Caught like 5 people.
That's cool.
Caught 5 people.
That's just dumb.
They decided to drop the video anyway because it went viral, and then they hit 2 million subscribers on the YouTube, right? So not 2 million subscribers, 2 million views on YouTube. So now the video's pretty much viral at this point. So the cops go back and start to boop 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 boop. The guns were stolen. Because I don't know if y'all know it or not, but when you doing this and you doing that, they could freeze frame that with the Fed video, dude, and grab the serial number. So and then it probably was the gun stolen from a couple missions, so they knew the guns were stolen. So they got these guys, and some of them were felons.
It was, that's what I'm about to say. It was more than just stolen. It was like some people who could not have a
people
gun.
Probation. Like, not even thinking, bro. Not even thinking. Like, and that's why I'm like, is that the image? Because we sell that shit sometimes. So for people to be like, oh, you see these white dudes. I'm like, I see the white dudes with the guns, but the nigga was hunting.
Well, I'm about to say where. Describe the situation.
He was fucking hunting.
There's not a lot. I see a whole bunch of white dudes just showing off the guns they
He's
got.
got a fucking. I don't care if he's killing elephants. There's a fucking elephant dead next to him with the fucking gun. So
it's in context.
And these guys are at a park next to the school. And then the kid.
He ain't with his hunting outfit and pointing at a school.
No, they're pointing at the fucking camera. They're talking about kill. Yeah. I like gangster music too. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it's like watching an action movie. So it's like, when they start talking about all this, I shoot that, I don't believe a word that they're saying for the most part, right? But nowadays, it's like you actually have to take K, right? You actually have to kill people for people to be like, oh, he'll kill people. Like, nigga, then you're going to throw your life away. Like, it's about, at this point, you can tell other people's stories, or you can talk about, hey, if you run upon me wrong, I'll down you. because I still feel that way. I feel that way about any human being running up on me wrong. Where I got the Thule, I'm telling you right now, I will down the fuck out of you. But I will legally down the fuck out of you. So I'm not, you know, we sell this image of like, I can kill everything moving. And
You say you like gangster movie. You like gangster music because it's kind of like an action movie.
It is.
Question. So are you saying that, or do you feel like music is a more powerful influence than movies are?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because culturally, especially with hip hop, if you look at what I grew up on, right, it was just like I said, the gangster stuff. But then I grew up in the '80s and the crackhead and that whole gangster vibe, and I started gangbangs and I hang around them, so I knew that. But I'll be honest with you, it kind of felt good when you did something that you heard in your favorite rap song. Because I may only watch this movie once, but you know, hey, you know, and you sit down, and when that came on, and you blow every day, you feel away. So I think music touches the soul way deeper than movies because movies are so temporary, and we move on to the next stuff. So I don't look at Rambo and be like, I want to go get a gun like Rambo and kill everybody.
Right.
You know, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. No, that's because I was going to get to that, like how you said that good feeling when you hear that music and you actually smoking because you heard the song.
Yeah.
I get it. But what about that horrible feeling when you watch Roots? Are you meaning to tell me that wasn't a stronger?
It make me away. Like when I watched Fruitvale and I watched Detroit,
right?
I went online and I was like, "Why the fuck I watched this movie?"
Because usually your anger feelings are just as strong as
yeah. Famous
or
line,
even
famous
stronger.
I forgot who said that. It was either one of the Goody Mob guys or one. He was like, "Watch Rosewood, go outside, slap a cracker." And I understand what he meant by that,
right?
Because he was like, that movie will make those type of movies do make you want to go outside and slap a white person. You know what I'm saying? Like
because you see,
like if let them say something wrong to you that day, don't watch it during the day. Watch that shit before you go to bed. That way you can sleep, reset. Watch that shit and go to HEB and somebody cut you off in the parking lot. You go let him get out of his car. You go try to smack the fuck out of him. Like that's just that's what will happen. But you know, back to the topic of and we've always seen guns in videos. Don't get me wrong. I had guns in my videos, so I'm a contradict myself here by saying guns in videos is trash. But pointing guns, 100 niggas with guns, and there's no point or substance to the video. So in my video, we were robbed of our music. It was a metaphor.
There's a story.
Yeah, it was a metaphor.
So
we were robbed for our music, and we're based. But it looks like it's dope. So we played it like on the cocaine line, or like it's dope in the bag. So we go back and we hunt the person back down. But it's not us just at the camera just pointing.
Did you see the video?
It was a film
that got those people arrested.
Yeah,
it was the actual video.
Oh yeah, it was pure. It was just.
Okay, so they were literally just showing off the fact that they got guns. There was no point to that.
Yeah, it's just a basketball court.
Yeah.
Nigga, what you mean?
Well, I saw that, but I'm saying like
basketball court.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like you said, you have guns. It was a movie. It was a point.
Yeah,
it was a storyline. But I'm saying there was no storyline.
No, because in the movie we end up like we purchased the guns. Like you know, one of the homies gets set up, and we purchase the guns, and we go back and get the stuff back, and we hand him the bag back. He opens the bag, it plays off our first video to where it's like, oh, y'all trying to steal our music. So it's a metaphor. It's a perfect treatment. It's a beautiful. It's a story. These guys are just, 100 little babies, man. Babies, bro. Babies. And you gotta teach them to be better than that. And after the cops pulled up and arrested everybody, and everybody else burnt off because the rest of them ran. So they only caught about 5 people. You put the video out anyway without blurring people's face out or, doing something like
them lights, man.
Because you could blur everybody's face out but the rapper, right?
I need the views and the likes now, son.
So that's
do you not understand?
It's the new crack, right?
Attention is the
new crack, man. Right?
We've been saying it for a while now. But
so
that's
so like that shit just like when I saw it, I couldn't even feel sorry for the little dudes, man. And I was going through the gram, like I said, I know the artist.
So
I know artists of the artist. You know what I'm
something?
saying? And I know his people. So
was somebody supposed to prevent it in some way?
The OGs got to teach the little young cats not to be up there doing that.
Young cats listen to OGs anymore? Because you said about the Chicago thing.
It's just like what
the
you
reason
said.
why you didn't feel Larry Hoover would change anything. So
I think yes and no. It depends on how respected the OG is to especially because look at 21 Savage now. He's like, well, y'all old heads got all the game, but y'all ain't giving us none. But I was like, that's bullshit because you go back and watch the Tekashi shit. Fat Joe, Said Charlemagne, everybody tried to tell him what was going to spiral and happen.
But that's a celebrity, though. I think 21 might have been talking about the other cats that's in the streets that's lost. 6ix9ine.
No, he was talking from the music. He was talking from the music side. He was talking from the music side what he was saying. But it's like, no, they are giving you the game. Y'all too stubborn to actually accept the game for what it is because you think somebody's trying to tell you what to do and how to move. But you look at the Bobby Shmurdas, you look at the 6ix9ines, you look at a lot of these cats that were still in the hood, Chinks, RP Chinks. Like you look at a lot of those cats that were still moving the same way that they moved prior to being rappers, and they all crashed down, man. Like you got to look at NBA YoungBoy almost threw his shit away right when he got on, almost threw it away, and for what? And that's why I say I had to stop following and watching some of the stuff he did on the internet because it's like, dog, you already got it. You got the platform. You got He reminds me with some of the antics of how Kevin Gates was. I actually like Kevin Gates now because he does seem like he's grown up a little bit. That's why I even like his music on the last album. I listen to his old stuff. I still don't like it. That new album probably is going to be in my top 5 albums of this year, which we'll talk about next week. But it's probably going to be in my top 5 albums for this year. But I see the growth in that. But NBA YoungBoy reminds me of that. And even the older videos where it's just like him pointing a whole bunch of guns at the screen too. Here's the problem. When you say, oh, Pat's my shooter, Mike cleans up bodies for me. Like,
they actually don't shoot. Or hopefully he really doesn't clean up.
I know, but they
really do. You're actually using the guys that do.
They like Ben a spin. And it's like, the judge's like, I don't want you to hang around Ben. And you're like, oh, I can go dive in Baton Rouge. Like, yeah, but I know this guy's done shit for you before. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how Boosie got in trouble. Marlo Knight in the back begging for a body. Like, nigga, you said his name, and then, you know what I'm saying? And you talk about throwing a nigga 2,500 in Marlo Knight, whatever, y'all, you nigga, stop self-snitching on y'allself, bro.
Stop self-snitching.
Jesus Christ.
Like, that's what I've been just waiting over here patiently just to say, because all y'all fools who looked over at the video, decided to release the video, and didn't do the due diligence of blurring out anybody's faces, especially the people that got records. And that will never ever happen with Planet Pert Productions or alwayspressrecord.com. So if you need any help or need a music video, feel free to contact us. But with that being said,
I'm not doing no better.
Everybody should
Pat's slogan. Controversy sells.
Controversy does sell.
Because we wouldn't talk about it if they didn't actually get arrested.
But I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who the artist is. All I know is that somebody got a video that got 20 plus people arrested. Now, if that's who you are, right? Like, if that's how you're really bringing it to the game, then so be it. Right. But that's not really that real. And like, let me just tell you, man, guns don't mean anything. Guns don't mean anything.
2 million views don't add up to all that bond money, though.
Oh, I didn't say anything about
2 million
money
views
or anything. What I'm saying is,
because it's 5 billion arrested, 20 more.
If your point is to go viral,
you feel me? So it's really more than 20. They caught the next 20.
If your point is to go viral, then they've accomplished that. That's the point.
And here's the difference.
They did accomplish that. Now, how you feel about it, or you want to get into the debate of good publicity or bad publicity?
I'm not even going to talk publicity, but I'm going to tell you.
If it was your point, and if it was your goal, you hit your goal.
Joe Budden said it on the episode today. They were talking about it. Going viral doesn't mean you made it.
No, it doesn't. Going viral doesn't mean.
But how can you tell someone whose whole
going viral doesn't mean that you have income?
Because you have to use.
What if your goal was not to have income? What if your goal was not to be in the business? What if your goal was simply to be seen? Right? Because there are people who of course, because you're not that person, but there are people in this world who are so shallow that if I just got some attention, it's better than money.
Man,
it's better than the fame. It's better than the business side. I mean, you can't explain that to a business guy, but you can explain that to a more emotional person that could say, like, for a lot of the billionaires that probably they have no idea that what made them their billions would actually make them billions. So now they're sitting with all this money and they fucked up in the head because they have no idea that, like, life is more than just simply being seen or noticed. But that's why you got guys with like multi-million-dollar bank accounts, but they still feel low because no one cares about them. I think I'm trying to think about if it's a book or something with this too, or maybe it was a Vlad interview where they were talking about how yeah, you got the millions, you pull up in the Bentley, you got the model, but no one knows you. So you just spent all that money to pull up in one of these fly parties, but who cares about me? Pert is the celebrity, so he can pull up in a Honda Accord and still get all the attention. So now my billionaire ass is still sitting there like, oh, there's billions of dollars. Don't mean shit because I don't have it up here. But because this guy has it up here, he can pull up in a Honda. Oh my God, it's Pert. Forget the guy in the Bentley. We want to say Pert.
No, I hear you. And like you know, D, I'm very upfront that I'm a failed rock star. Right? You walk through my house, there are multiple posters from my days of releasing albums, right? Like,
just play the guitar.
No, I'm a failed rock star, man.
I don't have posters on my wall of me teaching kids. So
I got
if that's
posters
failed,
on my wall. Right? I got posters on my wall of no, it's real because nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows that I did music. Like nobody cares. And so that took me to get past it all. But when I was in that shit, and like when I was over here trying to make that music video, that song, that hook, that riff, like
would you risk going to jail to reach that level of success? Yeah, I guess because that's the realm I want to stay in. Would you risk going to jail?
I think
to get that level
the time,
of success.
And so that's the reason why I'm trying to think about it. Right? That's the reason why I'm trying to think about it from that point of view, right? Because you're a different person. You were always like, Pert's going to be that guy. But me, I knew that I needed to get
people to get there, man.
Yeah, but I was over here trying to get that one-hit wonder status, right? So it's like we're at the.
But I know that doesn't work. It's not.
But it's like if I could have figured out a hook or some fucking title or phrase that everybody would have hooked themselves into, I would have sold it all. And so when I saw the Carter documentary with Lil Wayne and I saw that he was strung out and he was over here spitting all this greatness and stuff like that, when I see Tekashi, when I see all of them, I see what I could have been, because all it is, and what I've said so many times to you, Pert, well, it's the thing that I keep on saying to Pert.
The Carter documentary, remember?
Yeah,
I wasn't a big Wayne fan.
I'll show it to you.
I mean,
once
you
you see it, you
like,
understand.
It's real.
Yeah, it shows you the other side of
real.
that.
This is going back to what the Carter won.
No, it's the Carter document.
Yeah,
it
was right
came
before
out
he dropped
around
the
3. But it does show.
No, I hear you, but it shows you like the other side. It shows you that Wayne was walking around with like this stack, and he was dealing with it, right? Yeah. But like he was so deep in the coding that nobody would, like Baby had him drugs. Yeah, but it's like, but here's the deal. And so like as an artist, I can honestly say that you just want somebody to like your art, man. And I can understand that when he said, yo, I got a music video, I'm going to have people out here, everybody's going to come around. And when people came around,
There was 2 niggas rapping. That's all I wanted to get to.
All right, so there was 2? Then your partner, bro. Y'all should have talked about it. But anyway, but all I'm saying is being that hungry, being that hungry, right? Mm-hmm. You're willing.
I don't think.
And when attention comes, just like we keep saying, attention is the new crack. I think that once he turned around, or they turned around and saw that all these people were joining in on their movement, they got caught up. And so
I get that, right? But and we'll wrap in a minute. But I just want to hit this point, and you can rebuttal if you like. So there's 2 people performing in this video, right? If I'm on probation, is it the artist's fault for still putting the video out, or should I not have did the mask with the bandana with the hat and the mask?
Are you responsible for yourself?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not even faulting the artist for putting it out once they went to jail and they made that executive decision to put that out there. I don't think they knew the risk of putting it, what was going to happen after that, right? But we have to rewind the clock a little bit. Y'all remember the mannequin challenge?
Yeah.
And the guys in front of the trap house?
Yeah, and they got busted because of that shit.
Right? Yes, with all the guns and same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But they couldn't just run in there because they didn't have the serial numbers to say these guns were stolen. These guys were close enough or probably involved in a circle where they knew what was missing already. Cops know what guns are stolen, by the way. Once you report them stolen, there is a list. So they're looking out for these stolen guns. They didn't just make this shit up. So those warrants came from that. Those warrants came from, oh, he's on probation, he's supposed to be near gun. You know, and they try to say, oh, this is props, or these are fakes. And he said, no, bro, like, get the fuck out of here. I know a prop gun, I know a real one. I see niggas with the fake Dracos in their video. You know, matter of fact, I was in a video with fake Dracos. Not my video, but yes. And I don't even knock a nigga for having the fake Dracos, because I'd rather have the fake Dracos use the props, because if you're going to use it for the artistic side of things, it wasn't just a let's point guns at the video type video. I hate those videos, man. They rarely catch my attention.
There are no good videos.
But that's all the young niggas is doing, though. Like, that's the way. This is why I feel like these record companies are cheating them and doing things amongst each other. But my question is, basically, is it not your own responsibility, if you know you got a stolen gun too, to not wrap your face up? Or is this, I want to be seen?
Why were they there?
Because they want to be in the video and be seen.
Right, but I mean, I think it's something that I would think about too, like even like doing this. It's like, all right, well, we coming out here, we're speaking our minds, but is it your fault if I pop off about some kid knowing that I cannot speak about students that...
Right.
You know what I mean? Gotcha. So if I start saying kid such and such and give his name and explain him and talk about him and
I will hold that body. Yeah, you're right.
No, what I'm saying, so it's like you can't say, well, you're the one who invited me to a podcast where we aren't going to talk about whatever. You know, even if you're sitting there like, oh yeah, come on, Dre, talk about that one kid you talked to me about last week.
In trouble by my wife.
Yeah.
So even if you, let's say, Pat encourages me to tell a story live on here, that I'll probably
we're not gonna.
It's still me, bro.
It's
right. Still on me. So it's like you said, you know, always press record, won't condone it. But if I get on and I do something dumb, you can't say Trey's the producer. You know, our APR's problem. So, you know, so it's like I can't.
So quick, so you're right. So quick survey, and we can wrap. Quick survey is when you watch that video. How does it make you feel? Though, does it not in the sense of, is it working in the benefit of what favor? I mean, what is it doing to someone from the outside that may be looking at young black teens in that way? Like like
I don't think that video was made to influence anyone.
I know. I'm just saying. Looking at that, like, what do we get? What do we get from that? Regardless, if the song was fire, did we need that?
Was the song fire?
Are we talking about for a music industry?
Yeah, like what are we getting out of that by putting these young kids in front of? That's why I say I don't know.
But our
Planet Pert Productions.
But I'm saying,
I would not get behind the camera.
Do you honestly think that it was? Do you think it was a cameraman suggesting doing that?
I can do a doper treatment for your shit. If you don't have a good treatment, like, let's make a movie, man. Let's make it a real video people gonna enjoy watching. No, the cameraman doesn't have to say so. I have several friends that record those coon ass videos.
Right, but you're saying like we are putting them in. I'm like, are you saying?
I'll turn the money down because I don't need it. But
I'm saying when you said that, you were like, we are putting these kids in this. I'm like, so are you saying that we're influencing them to do this?
No, we're not. What I'm talking about is videographers, record producers.
Okay, so so I'm saying it's coming from somewhere that this is what you need to do.
Somebody can take a stand and say, I don't. You know what? We're not.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, your point is there's someone, like, whether in the music, you know, like I said, a label. You need to do this.
No,
this
absolutely.
They're training these little.
That's what you're saying. We are putting.
That's what they're looking for.
As soon as you,
these are the guys that are blowing.
You do that.
The TKs, the NBA young boys. These are the guys that are blowing. Because they're doing the coonery buffoonery. But again,
it's just not that.
But how much do you make on being real, right? Everyone has to chase and everyone wants to prove that they're real.
What does that mean, though?
Oh, it means that there are some people that will have no boundaries on how to prove they're real. Keeping it real goes wrong.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So when you have that mentality into someone who's not mature enough to say, okay, yeah, it's probably beneficial to me to prove that I'm real, but this probably is too far.
So this,
you know what I mean? So if you're not sometimes
how did it make you feel, Pat? You saw the video.
I'm sitting here, but I guess because I'm more mature now, but
stupid, right?
First of all, I'm like, well, stupid. I'm like, would I want to be around those many motherfuckers throwing guns, fucking around?
No. Guarantee they all went empty.
They were all
guarantee.
All it takes is one
dumbass. One dumbass could pop the clip.
Yeah, I mean,
and drop the bullets, but forgot he had one in the head.
I mean,
like,
boom. And then one shoot.
I don't care if someone conceals a pistol, whatever. But when someone's just holding it, fucking
just
doing this shit, I'm like, I'm getting away from that.
That shit's coonery to me.
Yeah. I think it's bad messages sent out, right?
It is.
1, 2, like be more creative.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think that's my
Just be more creative.
out of all the foolishness. I think that's my biggest concern and my biggest problem right there is copycat dub ass shit. Bad enough you niggas rap alike. Not saying that those people do, but bad enough you niggas rap alike in general. And then it's like you're gonna you gonna do the gun, you gonna do the slow motion, you gonna do the you go the blurry fade.
Cliche bullshit.
Yeah, you go the blurry fade and
let's pull back the curtain a little bit. All right, everybody who you think is an artist or has some money behind them, there's always like a team of people. Some of them call them an A&R men. That's if you really get like established companies, but mostly it's people who are telling you what to do, telling you what to wear, telling you how to say it, telling you how to do it.
A manager
no, it's not even just your manager.
No, I'm saying like
it might even just be your homegirl.
Yeah,
it might even just be your homegirl.
All
these people telling
you videos like that are the ones who people try to snatch your chain and people try to because when you go to the wrong city.
I saw you in the video with all them guns.
Yes, where they at now? Now I'm in my city. Now I'm gonna you the big bad wolf. Okay,
where them guns at that was in the video?
Here you go, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they start.
Really
or you're forced to travel with them, and people around you catch those cases.
But I think what's about to happen,
you know, didn't Ty Dolla just get jammed down? I'm not saying he was in the Cohen shit, but
I hear you. But what's about to happen is that we're about to start getting some anti-gangster rappers, and wait for it to happen. And when it happens, you heard it here. No, I think the consciousness. I think we're wrong. I think consciousness comes with people always thinking, right? People, including me, like if you're in that range of 24 to 27, let's even open it up to 21 to 27. If you're within that range, usually your music is coming from the club, right? Back in our day, the club, the strip club, which is kind of how it's always been, right? And so what's the music now with just those two realms? What's the type of music that you hear? It's kind of the more melodic, catchy, hooky bass. It's more, it's that dance, right? Right? So what's about to happen is that all these people who were catching all these cases and getting cleared off the street, because that's what's going to happen, a whole generation of rappers are all going to get cleared off by the hip-hop police. And you're going to have like these safe motherfuckers like Lil Yachty, who's always talking about positivity and is never ever going to pick up a gun.
A lot of people talk positivity. A lot of them don't rap gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about this elite or this.
They're getting rid of them,
small group.
They're getting rid of them because they're watching. We made it too easy by putting it on YouTube.
Because we've always talked about how it's saturated. So, and how anybody can claim or put in their lyrics that they do this and do that, and then catch on and be like, "Dude, you don't even grow up around this stuff, but you made it big because you made it sound cool." Yeah, and so I think, yes, it seems like the same thing over and over, but how you recreate that same thing means something. Like as an artist, I'm pretty sure there's only so many ways you can put together a bar. Or a different punchline.
Right.
But you have heard it from Jay-Z before. You have heard it from this artist before. But for some reason, when this guy said it, that was fire. Yeah. But it is the same thing, technically, over and over. But like you said, I don't think it's not creative. I think it's a way to still be able to go viral with that same shit does show creativity in some sort. Okay. Now, what you would rather see is an expansion on creativity. Why don't you use that same creativity on your entire own idea? Not take his idea and try to, do whatever.
There's a million different ways.
Right, and it actually shows your growth as an artist or your, I guess the videographer. It shows your growth as someone in that to be able to do something completely different.
You know when it got wild? Man? When BET and MTV, they used to ban you. They wouldn't show the guns in the video. They used to blur that shit the fuck out.
Because it had a cable with that.
But they were just even on cable. They would blur it. BET wouldn't even show.
No, I know. I'm saying right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
But you skipping the network, so you going straight to your audience now, YouTube. So you can do whatever. Yeah, so you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. So that's when things, basically the internet popped. These people could do whatever the fuck they want to do. Then they're 18 years old, they're gonna want to do that. My only point is, 20 people were arrested because 20 people were stupid. Fact.
Lawyers are expensive.
And then I'm in the video. I know the gun. I know I stole it. I know my man stole it. But I want to hold. And some of them might not have been in the gun. He might have been holding the gun. One of the niggas might have had 9 guns and passed them to 9 people.
That's the funny part. That's what I was thinking about. It could have been like a guy like me with like no kind of criminal.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah, right. Like, yes.
And now I got my first charge trying to look cool.
Yes, and you're fighting a fucking felony trying to be cool.
Be cool.
That's what the hell I'm talking about right there, dude. Like, it's beyond just the gun point in the video, because everybody does it, man. It's cliche. I think that was my point of the creativity. Like, let's get off of that shit and let's move into a different direction. That's the extent of where I want to go with that. I hope all those young brothers actually make it out of that.
Absolutely.
I say stupid because in that situation, when you're 20 years from now, you're going to be like, I was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe 5 years, probably right now while you're sitting in the box, because bond money's tight for a lot of niggas, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
because that wasn't insured. That wasn't an insured shoot.
Of course not. Because
so everybody got.
You know what pissed me off when the kids got out of school and they let the kids jump in the video and then they start walking down the street and they're walking down the street like 50 deep and there's like little kids walking next to them with the guns. That's what probably made the DA and the prosecution, the cops really press the gas harder.
Yeah.
Harder.
Yeah.
It's little shorties. Like, if my kids walking up and these fools are out here, these fools are out here with like midday, bro, during school hours. Not even on a Sunday when it's dead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. I'm never gonna get it, bro. I'm never gonna get it. I don't understand it, bro. Like, we just have to.
At the end of the day, ignorance is ignorance. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that you're actually going to shoot this also lets you know that you weren't thinking about the fact that these kids have a teacher who's not going to like the fact that
that's why I said we need to teach our kids.
And then that's what made. Saying like that. Who alerted the DA to put?
Oh, of course.
These teachers, these advocate groups, these children.
Right. Somebody called the cops on their ass. Yeah. Somebody called the cops on their ass because they had been out there for a minute.
But like you said, if you were not ignorant, you would have thought forth. Right? You would have thought ahead of time and said, okay, damn.
No, man.
If I'm going to shoot a video with guns, I'm not going to be by a school.
This goes back into...
And then when kids walk by, I'm going to cut, shut it off. There's a child in here.
So this goes back into, I guess what I meant earlier, this goes back into thinking that we have to be gangsters. I'm sorry, hard and tough is maybe the wrong choice of words. That we have to be gangster and be hard.
Or gangster means tough.
Yes.
Like, you can't be tough and be an IT guy. You can't be tough.
I will bust your happy ass in a heartbeat, but that's just me though, right?
No, but I'm saying it's like the idea. The idea. You can't be tough and be
just saying that because I want to set the boundary.
You have to be a gangster.
Still be yourself and be a man and be an alpha male and be in control of your situations. You see what I'm saying? You can still do all that stuff without trying to portray. I never need, and when I be like, man, fuck gang culture, because I'm not a gangbanger. So I can say that. And I'll say that with a blood and crip in this room because that's how outspoken I am. Because this big thing on the side with 17 in it is going to let me say what the hell I want to say. And if you don't like it, argue against it. But don't come at me like, oh, you disrespect. Like, no, I'm not. It's just, this is why I don't agree with that. Tell me why you agree with it, though. What do you get out of it? And then we'll have a talk like grown men. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what we need to get our kids away from. And we need to get our kids away from wanting to be in these in crowds. And it starts, and people say it all the time, but it starts at home, and it does, man. My mom did a great job that she could do, but by not having a father figure there for a lot of that stuff, the scared, like that toughness from a man didn't, like your dad, like when I'm like, hey, y'all getting that, they shut up. But when she yelling from the other room, 30 minutes of yelling back and forth, it's the same shit still going on. But it's that, like, what's up. Like, we ain't whooping, you put your shoes on, meet me outside, we can box it out. Nobody, so far I'm 0-0, because nobody ever meets me outside, because that's my rule, that's my rule of thumb. But I'm going to teach them how to be men and how to be mature and not be part of that stupid ass in crowd. Also, it's like we think being seen with the gun means that we're hard. You know, I took my kids to the range before I ended shit. I took my kids to the range when they were 12 and 13 years old. Both of the oldest boys. Because I keep guns in my house. I want them to, when my other boys are older, they, all the time, when I'm cleaning my guns, they're like, oh, I'm gonna shoot. As soon as you're old enough, you will. Put my gun locks back on, lock them the fuck up, keep them safe. But I want to get that out of their system so they know how it feels to shoot a gun. They held the gun before, so they can go and have that and not experience that in street life and street culture, thinking that, but they need to understand the responsibility that comes with guns. You know, the cleaning, the don't point, the don't play, the responsibility level that comes with that. And sometimes to let this motherfucker make it, if you both could get home, go home. Because this guy might just be having a bad day and you might be having a bad day. Those 20 brothers that sit in jail right now, they're definitely having a bad day and a bad week. I'm going to end it at that, man. Planet Pert Podcast, man. Episode number 10 is in the books. This was a good one, man. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and for being here as well, man. You got me all...
And I'm gonna fight when we leave.
No, he does it every week, man. It's all good.
I got 16 in the clip.
All right, Pat, man, get out of here.
I want to put 17, but it'll be.
Oh, no.
Nah, when did motherfuckers get so good at math to where they can start over counting bullets and shit? That's all I'm saying.
They came on.
I actually got 18 in my shit. It's 17.
You know, that whole
one in the
thing was
chamber.
on,
in the chamber, but it's like the last one.
Oh, yeah.
It's like all these motherfuckers are like, so that means 32.
Look, if I ain't shot you in the first 5.
I don't feel like yeah, 18 is the bitch get off me. That's when it's like 5 people. You want like, bitch, I'm really trying to get away and get home.
Goodbye.
You know, I already told everybody goodbye. I signed out already.
Wait, what?
Oh,
You said tell them goodbye after you did the
whole outro.
You sit down tonight?
I did the whole outro.
This is a always press record production. Thank you for tuning in to the Planet Pert podcast. Shout outs to